fucking compost heap. Look at that. Or whatever the fuck it is. Trash heap right outside the window. Attractive. Hi, I'm Ariel. You're watching She Wants the Diction. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Southern Reach Trilogy. So if you guys watched my last video about the book kiosk that I went to, you saw that I checked out Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, which is the first book in the series. And if you watched my previous video, you'll know that I just finished the Xenogenesis series by Octavia Butler. So some of you are probably like, wow, you jumped from one sci-fi series, like serious sci-fi series, into another sci-fi series. And yes, I don't know why I did that, other than I guess I'm going through a sci-fi phase right now where I rediscovered how much I actually fucking love it, and I don't know why I don't read more of it. And typically, I don't know if I've talked about this yet, but you guys know that I don't really love series. I feel like if you can't say it in one book, then like why do I have to invest my time and money to go seek out these 3 separate books when you could just make it one nice book, even if it has to be a long book, make it one book. I don't understand series. I don't understand the point. And there's not a lot of series that I've read that I feel like were quality all the way through. So I tend to avoid series in the first place. And guys, when I checked this out, I did not even realize it is the book that the movie Annihilation with Natalie Portman that came out, I believe last year, is based on. I did not even realize that. And when I saw the trailer for Annihilation, I actually really did want to see it. And somehow my brain just did not connect the two. These books, and especially the first one, has some of the most beautiful cover designs that I've ever seen, and it's rare that I get really I really love a cover, and I think that this book is as beautiful on the outside as it is on the inside. It's beautiful inside out, guys. I mean, the foil that we have, or the reflectiveness, and then the detail in the illustrations and the plant life. Oh yeah, here's another illustration. It's the boar hog thing that charges at them. The end pages, the inside of the cover, I don't know, this is just a beautiful cover design as well. The typography, something in me is so when I see that the letters all line up, and just the boldness of it, and then I don't know, God, I just love it so much. And the way the plant entwines with the letters, oh my God, I'm such a nerd, but this cover is just beautiful cover design. It really fits the book. So this is a short little novel. It clocks in at almost 200 pages. So it didn't take me long to finish it all. I was riveted, you guys. I finished this pretty much in a single day, in a sitting of a few hours. I could not put it down. It was that fucking good. And if you guys don't know anything about the premise of Annihilation, there is this mysterious zone that is opened up. It's called Area X. There's an invisible border. Strange things are happening. There's a organization that was developed to investigate the area called the Southern Reach, and they send in expeditions to explore Area X and try to learn what they can about it and why it's here and what it's doing, and they're afraid that it's going to expand into the rest of the world. This book follows, I believe, the 12th expedition, consisting of biologists, anthropologists, a psychologist, and there was supposed to be a linguist as well. It's an all-female expedition, so immediately all-female anything automatically has me intrigued. And I'll admit I was pretty worried, because whenever I see that a man is going to be writing a lot of females, I'm concerned that he won't be able to pull it off, and the voice will not be authentic, and because I feel like that's a problem with a lot of male authors that try to write female characters and they just don't understand them. The idea of Area X, okay, aliens, extraterrestrial life, mysterious zones. When I was a kid, I used to, this is actually pretty nerdy, but I used to check out a lot of books from my library about UFOs and alien sightings. These things really intrigue me, people that really thought they saw aliens, and the photos of the UFOs and stuff like that. As a kid, I loved that stuff so much. I just love the idea of the unknown and aliens and exploration and first contact, and also expeditions, exploring. One of my favorite series of all time, if you know me, is the Star Trek series. And it's kind of the same idea of exploration. Now, granted, Star Trek is a much safer universe. It's very optimistic. Everything always has, a pretty happy ending. It's very human focused. It's very positive. It has a very positive view of the future. I love Star Trek for that. But sometimes, you think aliens would be a bit grittier. First contact would not go smoothly the way that it, for the most part, does in the Star Trek universes. Yeah, it was just, I saw those things and I was like, holy crap, I really want to read this. And throughout the book, you are seeing things from the biologist's perspective. To start off, it was pretty dull. I was worried that I wasn't going to like it. And then immediately a bomb drops. The biologist is infected by spores, and immediately you're like, oh God, you idiot. She doesn't tell anyone in the party that she's been infected. You idiot, you're gonna die, you're gonna die. Because that's what happens in horror movies, like, you know, or like sci-fi movies, like something happens to someone, and for some reason they don't tell the rest of their party, I guess because they're afraid, like, people are gonna turn on them and kill them, and I was like, oh god, you just fucked up, you just fucked up. Well, Jeff Vandermeer completely subverts your expectations because these spores actually end up, in a way, being a good thing. They make her immune to the hypnotism that the psychologist is using on everyone else in the party. And suddenly things are high stakes. Like, not only are they trying to figure out this mysterious entity, this mysterious Area X, but the biologist needs to figure out the psychologist's motives. Why is she hypnotizing everyone? Why is she mind controlling them? And suddenly there's two enemies to deal with, and that's when it ramped up, and just from there I was hooked. You got your science fiction, you got your horror elements because there are a lot of scary, creepy things that happen in here. Even aspects of a thriller for the first one, I would say. Not so much the second two, but... So you have a mix of genres. The biologist. Guys, I love the biologist as a character. She made this book, and her voice comes through so clearly. And I know it's probably weird to refer to a very creepy, unsettling, disturbing book as gorgeous, but I really connect with the biologist's personality, how she's very self-contained, and all of the things that she notices, she frames in kind of like biological terms. She like notices things as relates to the natural world and thinks of things in terms of animals and stuff like that. There'll be analogies of like natural world analogies, and she's very logical and she wants to know the truth of what's going on. And I really, really connect with her character. I don't know if we're supposed to, because she's supposed to be kind of like antisocial and way too invested into her career. It's not just, she's just her career, it's her whole life is being a biologist. It's what she is. So I don't know that we're supposed to like her or think that she's admirable, but I really connected to the biologist, and entwined with these scientific observations and trying to explore this area, it comes with personal revelations about why the biologist is on this mission. One of the major ones being that she lost her husband. Her husband was on one of the prior expeditions. Her life with her husband, like, their relationship was not always perfect. And there's a discussion of a lot of the dynamics because he was an extrovert and she was a very hardcore introvert. And just the exploration of their marriage dynamics and her thinking back, I found that amazing because I've dated a couple extroverts, and I can tell you everything that was in there was spot on. Like, it was obviously Jeff Vandermeer was writing from a place of having experienced this type of thing in a relationship where there's kind of a disconnect, because eventually as an introvert, you're going to revert to your nature, which is wanting to stay in, you know, even if this person is fun and wild and, you know, drags you out of your head, kind of like manic pixie dream girl type shit. You're going to want to revert to your natural ways. And they're always going to want to go out and, you know, be social, and you can't force yourself to have that same energy always. So I just thought their conflicts and everything was like super realistic, and the way that slowly she began to open up and explain everything about like her personal life and when her husband came back and how she felt about that, I just loved it. I thought it was beautiful, the personal entwined with the scientific, and I don't know, I really love the biologist. I thought this was a beautiful book, a beautiful study. And the language that he writes it in, there's so many passages that make you stop and think. The word choice, just the way he says things. People have described it as being very abstract, which is probably why I liked it. I loved so much about this. I really want to own it. The biologist experiences just made me think about my own life. Just a lot of things about her I related to. And the idea of being maybe too independent or too self-sufficient, that's exactly what makes her strong and makes her able to survive these things that no one else can survive. She is a hero to me. I love this character. And I also want to say, now you don't find this out until the second book, which is called Authority. So the biologist is supposed to be half Asian, half white. So they definitely should not have cast Natalie Portman in that role. Whitewashing in Hollywood, I don't know why I'm even surprised. Just annoying at this point. So where Annihilation leaves off, the biologist finds traces of her husband possibly still being alive. He went off to explore an island. So she's going to go follow him, and she kind of rows off, and you're thinking, oh, the next book is going to be all her adventures, and she's going to look for her husband or find her husband, and if she doesn't find him, she's going to find some answers. But no, Authority. We switched to a whole different character. A character called Control. The new director that is put in place of the Southern Reach, and it just becomes so boring. I don't like the character of Control. I don't think he was well developed. It felt like Jeff Vandermeer had the same exact style of trying to write Control as he did for the biologist, but I didn't care about Control. I think it's stupid that he was called Control or went by that nickname. Like, that's dumb. I hate people that nickname themselves. It's so lame and it's so stupid. And I did not care about the Southern Reach as an organization. I care about the mission. I care about the exploration. And it just feels like he just put that on hold for a boring ass, and this is really long compared to Annihilation as well. And I hate when authors do the thing where they're writing a series and the second book completely switches to a character you give no fucks about. I had the same problem with the Xenogenesis trilogy. I don't care. Like, why do they not just stick with the character that we already love and continue developing the story? Trudged through this. Long story short, it's stupid. The whole time he's at the Southern Reach, he thinks there's something wrong. Obviously there is. He's interrogating the biologist the whole time and he's terrible at it. And the assistant director is giving him all kinds of shit. And there's some really weird people working there, like Whitby and Cheney, and just these scientists that have been there forever. And he's just trying to get to the bottom of shit. But it's slogged. It's slow. I don't like the characters. I don't like anything about this, really. He got too long-winded in this one. He got too off course. And the story didn't pick back up until the end of the book when Control finally realizes that the biologist is not the biologist, even though she's been telling him that the whole time. She's a clone. When him and Ghostbird get together, that's when the story continues. So it doesn't really feel like the story keeps going until you get to Acceptance. Now, honestly, I think you could skip Authority altogether due to, I don't know, it just being terrible and Control not having much of a role in this story. The style that Acceptance was done in is much more appealing than Authority. It's from many different perspectives. So we have Ghostbird, we have the director, we have the original lighthouse keeper, the one that was imprisoned as the crawler at the end of Annihilation. So we have all these different perspectives and it's switching back and forth as you're trying to figure out what happened, what created Area X. And I love that so much more. Like, I'm dying for answers. But the thing is, Jeff Vandermeer kind of keeps stringing you along. And as he's trying to answer these questions, it feels like he doesn't fully have all the answers. And I noticed a lot of people in their reviews were comparing this to Lost, the TV series. Now, I've never actually watched Lost, but it does feel like he created a lot more questions than he could possibly answer. There's not any really clear-cut answers. Like, we know certain things. We know that Area X was created by old alien technology. It's terraforming the planet to, be more hospitable to these aliens. It thinks it's fixing the planet, and that the cloning and things like that may be Area X trying to communicate or sending out expeditions, just like we keep sending human expeditions into it. It's fixing the humans, it's spitting them back out and sending its own expedition, its own spies, its own doubles. So there's the idea that maybe it can't communicate, or that it's not even a life form. It's a dormant technology. It's like a mechanical thing. It can't be stopped. It's a made organism. And the people that were supposed to be there to control it, the alien race, has died out. And this lighthouse keeper was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But it just felt like he just kept stringing us along, and the answers weren't that satisfying. So I would recommend, if you're going to read this, read Annihilation. Maybe stop there. If you are interested in how he tries to answer this, skip Authority, because it's a snooze fest, and go straight to this one, because this will give you the backstory on everybody. The whole border, I believe, in the ending is it kind of takes over the world, because Ghostbird and Grace are looking for the border to cross back over and they can't find it. So there's this idea that maybe the world is gone. So yeah, they're basically accepting the fact that the world is falling apart. I feel like he drew it out a lot longer than it could have been, and I think his writing is most beautiful when it's short, sharp, and sweet. Like in Annihilation, it's like a needle. I think his style becomes tedious after a while. I would give Annihilation 4 stars. The second book, Authority, I think I would give that one 1 star. Like, it was really bad. Acceptance, I would give maybe 2. It's that first book, flames, fire. And then after that, I'm just like, I need to stop reading series. One thing I still don't understand is, why did some people get doubled and some people not? Or did everyone get doubled? Why did some people turn into monsters and some did not? Lowry's whole deal, was he being controlled by the aliens or not? What was up with Henry and that couple that was investigating? Like, why was the assistant so loyal to the director? Like, was there something going on there? Because it's kind of mentioned that I think the director likes girls, so just a lot of stuff should have been more clear-cut, I thought. And I think the books have a strong overarching theme of maybe ecology, caring for the environment, and humans being a harm to a perfect environment, destroying the environment. Maybe even a theme of being one with the environment. You could argue the biologist understands her place, and that's why she accepts it so much more easily, is that she understands that even people who see themselves as above the environment or animals, they're part of the environment. Like, I feel like she understands that. Yeah, you could say this is very, like, green. It's very green. But I agree, we're making too much of a footprint on our land, and I don't think we ever really will make a change to stop global warming or stop polluting the earth or start recycling. Like, for example, and I've talked about recycling on this channel before, it makes me sad to see that I'm the only person on my street, you know, that has a recycling when it's only $5 more per month. It makes me sad to see I'm the only person with reusable silverware that I bring to work with me, and people will comment on all the time on, oh, it's so cute. Well, I'm not doing it because it's the bamboo silverware is cute. I'm doing it because I want to stop wasting so much. Like, if that is his theme, if that is his point, I'm 100% behind that. So yeah, guys, this just proves to me that series are... I don't love series. I still have so many unanswered questions. Overall, I would say don't read this series. Read the first book. I have yet to watch the movie and see my opinion on that, but this is my new fave. Thanks for watching.